Thank you. So with this, I'd like to turn the program over just a few moments to Senator Klobuchar.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Shirley. Thank you. Well, thank you so much, Shirley, and it is so great to be here with so many good friends and all these people wearing red. First of all, I got up at 3 in the morning Minnesota time in Washington to make sure I got here because we had some votes last night. We actually passed a bill last night. I know that's hard to believe, the Stock Act. But we are here today on something much more important than that, and that is to send this strong message to everyone about how they have to take care of themselves and how you can save your life. And I know this personally from my own parents. My mom had open heart surgery, and she died just about a year ago, but she lived for 20 years after having that surgery. And my dad, who is amazing and is 84 years old and still hiking up mountains, had quadruple bypass as well 20 years ago. So I am a big believer in heart care, medical care, and we can maybe even stop those operations from happening if we take even better care of yourselves. Myself too. Okay, so here's my funny story. You see this? This red that I'm wearing came from Rochester. When I was running for the U.S. Senate, I was at a big event, some women's event, and former Representative Dave Bishop's wife was there, Bee, right? So I went over to her and I said, I just love that suit coat you're wearing, that red suit. I said, is it available now? I think it would be a good color for me. And she goes, you know, it's 10 years old and I'm just sick of it. You can have it. And I am not kidding. She took it off and she gave it to me, and then I wore it on Meet the Press. It's a true story. And I always love to say it was my bipartisan suit coat, that this wasn't about Republicans, Democrats. Anyway, so I wanted to thank you for this, Rochester, but also thank you for the groundbreaking work that you do every single day at Mayo. Your work is essential to saving lives, and it also is essential for the kind of research that's going on here that will save lives throughout the world. Right now in America, roughly 8 million women are suffering from heart disease. Another 39 million are at risk of developing the illness that is the #1 cause of death for women. Think about that. Claiming more lives each year than every type of cancer combined. The numbers are alarming, but I don't think you're all here because of the numbers. You're here because of a neighbor, because of a sister or a brother, or you're here because of a mother or a dad or your friend. We're here because together we'll win our battle against this terrible disease. Well, first of all, we know, and what can I do? We have to keep the funding strong, right? We have to keep the research strong. And when we talk about the budget issues that we have in Washington, they are a challenge, and they are important that we reduce our debt. But that doesn't mean that we want to reduce it on the backs of the people that need the help the most, and also not on the backs of the research that's actually going to provide jobs in a future for our country. And that is medical research and the work that's going on here. We also need to stress the importance of exercise and diet. That is incredibly important. As you all know, Rochester, I believe, is one of the more fit towns. I just made that up, okay? But it seems to me, kind of walking around, that it is, and I think a lot of that has to do with Mayo and the kind of standards that have been set at Mayo. And the last thing we need to do, of course, is raise awareness, and that's exactly what you're doing today by saying wear red. I think a lot of women especially don't always realize what a risk heart disease can be. It's sometimes thought of as an older man's disease, right? Yet 1 in 6 women realize that heart disease is the #1 threat, and that needs to change. The more information women have about the risk of heart disease, the more ammunition that they have to fight it, and that's why Wear Red is so important. I was just at one of your schools, Lincoln Park Choice, and I was just amazed at, first of all, your superintendent was wearing red. It's sort of the memo got out, okay? But also at the work that Mayo is doing in terms of getting young scientists started at age 5, and all the work that's being done with zebrafish. And I just think that kind of interest is going to matter. It's going to matter for research, and it's going to matter for prevention. So I want to thank you for doing this today. Thank you for all you have done. I just want to end with one quick story, and it's a story about my daughter. When she was about 4 years old, we had the church pageant that she was in, and she was to play the angel. Angel, right? kind of like, this looks a little like an angel, even though it's a red dress. And she was to play an angel, and she had these big angel wings, and we were sitting at the rehearsal, and she would not go up there. And all the other kids were up there, and I said, I don't understand why you won't go up there. They said, you have the coolest part at the end, you spread your wings. And so she says, I don't want to go up there, I want to be the donkey. And I go, no, I said, look at these two teenagers, Jimmy and Tom. I go, they are the donkey, you cannot be the donkey. They're all hot in their donkey suit. Oh, I want to be Mary. I'm like, no, she's 16 years old. And I finally said, why don't you want to be the angel? She looks way up to the top, this high, and she says, because I can't fly. And I said to her today, you know what? Not all angels fly. And that's what this is about today, because you are truly being the angels to some people you may never meet, right? Just as the doctors and the nurses and all the medical professionals that work here know, you're the angels to people. You're there for them at that moment. But you're also angels, even if you're not working in that field, because you are raising awareness and helping out people that, again, you may never meet. So I want to thank you so much for what you've done. Spread your wings, and let's get to work. Thank you.